Hello, James McNamara here. It's promotion day today, so I wanted to talk to you about what a number of small business owners are now turning their attention to, and that's to speak up so they can stand out and make a positive difference. Now, the video I've got for you today is really only for business owners with a growth mindset, so business owners who are looking to generate more leads, convert more sales, build their business, and of course expand their reputation. So if that's you, I'm sure you're going to get a lot out of what I'm talking about today. So what you've probably seen is more and more people starting to use presenting, be it live or online, as a method to generate inquiries for their business. Some are doing it well, and some need some more help and support. You've probably seen a lot of people in the speaking and coaching industry use this marketing strategy, but I'm here today to tell you that it's not just for speakers and coaches. In fact, many small business owners can use speaking and presenting, both live and online, as a method of building a positive reputation for themselves, excuse me, and also of attracting great quality fresh leads and referrals to their business. In fact, the public courses that I ran last year on this subject were populated far, far more by non-speaking and coaching businesses than they were by coaching businesses. So, for example, pest control, pool guy, there were copywriters, there were professional services people there, and a whole range of others, people from the mining industry even. So I want you to really start to think of how you could use this method of generating fresh leads and expanding your business, particularly if this is the year where you really want to grow and expand both your business and your reputation. So what I'm going to do now is just take you through some interesting information about taking speaking and presenting. Let me put this up for you. It's taking speaking and presenting from a novelty to a central pillar of your small business marketing system. So let's face it, a lot of people, when they get the opportunity to speak or to go and do an online live or something like that, it's a bit of a novelty. It's sort of a one-off and great thing to do, but we can take it further than that nowadays. There are so many groups that meet for the purposes of networking, be they dedicated networking groups or industry groups or special interest groups. Quite often they have speakers. And the ability for you to put a presentation online and drive traffic to that is now better than it's ever been. And particularly online, because with what's happened in recent times, more and more people have had the difficult task of making the change to do more and more of their business online, and particularly business communications. So I think the online presenting is here to stay, and it's going to grow to be a very, very important part of many people's businesses. So if you're going to turn this into a system, right, and that's the way I want you to think about it, is turn speaking and presenting into a marketing system for your business. Now, as I said, it's not only for speakers and coaches, but if you sell a complex solution or service, product or service mix or straight service, something that needs a little bit of explaining, something that needs some supported education to go along with it, then these types of presentations are really, really useful in helping you stand apart from the competitive pack, helping you to build a reputation as the expert in your field. So there are three in particular that you need to master and to a certain degree systemize inside your business. The first one is a live lead generation presentation. So that's for presenting at groups that gather together, and there are a number of them that do so regularly, and they're all looking for guest speakers. So there's your networking groups, there's your chamber groups, there's your industry association groups, there are other special interest groups, and on it goes. So there's a method for doing that and speaking to a room like that and being able to generate fresh quality leads from that room, as well as referrals to build your list and so forth. And I teach people how to do that. The second is an online evergreen appointment generating presentation. And the beautiful thing about online is you can have the call to action to be, well, click the button below and book a time for a discussion directly into my calendar. And you can set those things up so that they can only have certain times of the week where you'll accept appointments from that source. That's a really, really good way to do things, and it's becoming more and more acceptable by the viewing public to go down that path. And of course, an online evergreen means it's always there, and you can have that, literally working 24/7 for you. The final one then, of course, is your virtual conversion presentation. So once you generate these leads and you get these people booking in appointments with you to discuss how you can help them, it's very important that you have a well-structured conversion presentation. The rest of today's talk is actually going to focus on that bit because it's the bit that's often forgotten. People tend to understand that for live presentations or an online presentations, I need to prepare and practice and do a good job of that. But they can often walk into a conversion presentation, i.e. a meeting with a prospect, be it face-to-face or virtual, unprepared. Without a process that they're going to use to lead that presentation. That's what you do in sales. You actually lead the presentation. So I want to spend some time on that. Got some interesting mathematics for you to have a look at around this to help you understand the importance of getting that bit right. So conversion presentation. So let's have a look. Let's just say you had a monthly sales target of $20,000. Now, if you're a bigger business than that, ramp it up. I mean, no problem. I just want to show you the maths. If you're a smaller business and you think, wow, that'd be good one day, then you can bring these figures back to something that you're comfortable with. Say you had a sale value of $2,000. So each time you sold a service or a package of products and services, the average sale value was $2,000. It means you need 10 sales in the month to get that. Now, I know we're not setting any mathematical records here, but stick with me. Say you had a conversion success rate of 20%. So 1 out of every 5 leads that you got, you converted into a sale. Now you may be thinking, oh, that's low, but quite often when you actually measure what small businesses are doing, it tends to be on the lower side. Yeah. So that means you'd need 50 leads to be able to make 10 sales at a 20% conversion rate. That's a lot. So in reality, are you going to be able to generate 50 fresh, new quality leads in a month? Probably not. And think about the amount of time, not only to generate the leads, but to speak to each and every one of those leads. So that at a 20% conversion rate, you can make your 10 sales. So if we improve conversion rate, leave everything else the same, but we just improve conversion rate, let's have a look at what happens. So if we move to a 40%, so that's doubling conversion rate there, we only need 25 leads. 40% conversion rate is still relatively low. Yeah. 50% we need 20, 60% we need 17, 70% we only need 14. So we really need to be up in that top echelon of the conversion rate. Listen, if you're hand on heart converting at 100%, then I would suggest to you you've got a really good value package, and you could probably put your prices up a bit, and it might scare a few people off, but overall you'll make a lot more money and put a lot more profit in your pocket. So conversion presentation, it packs a tremendous profit punch. Right, it's one thing in your business that if you improve it, you'll immediately start to make more profit, because improving conversion doesn't cost you any money. Yeah, whereas increasing the number of leads and inquiries, often that has an advertising dollar associated with it. So you want to increase leads, you increase expenditure in your business quite often, or you increase workload. Yeah, if you're doing things that are not necessarily have an expenditure to generate leads, but they take your time, if you're going to increase the leads, and of course you're increasing the amount of time. And they're the two things that business owners want more of, isn't there? They actually want more time back on their hands, and they want more profit into their pocket. I would encourage you to embrace virtual conversion presentations now more than ever. People have had, a few years now of the social distancing. That's becoming more and more the norm. There's more and more people now working from home and unlikely to return to offices. So more of our communication is going to happen online, including the bit where we make the sale. Yeah? And so many times I hear people say, oh, I just got to be face-to-face when I'm doing the sales. Well, I understand that. There's a lot more you can gain from a face-to-face presentation. There's a lot more information comes from the prospect, particularly in terms of body language and cues and so forth. But really, we have moved to a far more of a virtual world. So those who can convert sales in a virtual setting, phone, Zoom or team meetings, are the ones who are going to win. So I'd like to help you be able to understand how you can do that. A conversion presentation is a lot more listening than it is presenting. Right. In fact, if you lead that presentation well and you fully and completely understand that particular client's needs, their situation, their circumstance, their hot buttons, then the client actually tells you exactly how to sell them. Yeah. And so what that means then is the presenting part, when you're doing some telling, can be very short and very efficient and very, very effective if you have the communication process and skill to be able to lead that meeting with the client and draw them out and find out exactly the real reasons why they will buy. As you can probably hear in the background, I'm working from home today and something set the dogs off up and down the street. So if you hear the barking, it's not someone running after me with a bunch of rabid dogs. It's just the neighbourhood. So a process for leading the prospect is what a conversion presentation is all about. So how can I help you? After all, it is promotion day, so I want to tell you how I can help you to be able to install these types of lead generation and conversion strategies in your small business, whether you're a speaker or a coach or a non-speaker or coach, but probably in a service or expert style business with a complex solution. This sort of presenting is right. It may not be right up your alley, but it can help you to quickly and easily generate a lot more leads. And don't worry if you feel nervous about presenting. I've worked with that many people who are really quite nervy when they start. And indeed, when I started my career, I was incredibly scared. I mean, literally, my leg used to shake to the point where you could see my leg shaking from the back of the room. But as time goes on, you can move past that. And I always say to people, you can bring yourself relatively quickly to a point where you are in control of the nerves rather than the nerves being in control of you. And when you hit that spot, a whole new world of opportunity opens up for you. And in fact, it's a false goal to try and move yourself to a spot where you're never ever nervous about presenting. If you're not nervous about presenting, then you don't care. And if you don't care, how can you be of value to the people you're presenting to? So don't worry about eliminating nerves. Let's just get in control of them, and a whole new world of opportunities will open up for you, I assure you. So the first thing is the live lead gen or lead generation presentation. So I help people with my special 5-step presentation formula that helps them bring leads out of the room that they present to. And I've done this with people in multiple industries. One lady turned up to it was a networking meeting. It was only 3 days after she was taught this by me. She hadn't really even done a lot of practice on her presentation. She presented. She said to me, James, it was a little bit rough because I hadn't done as much practice as I wanted to, and I forgot a bit of the presentation, left a bit out, but I still walked away with 3 leads, and she turned 2 of those into paying customers. So this stuff works, yeah? Presentation coaching. So you actually film your presentation just on your iPhone, and you get it across to me, and I do detailed critiquing for you, not only on the content of your talk, but also how can you bring your unique and natural style to the fore, because you want to be presenting as you. You don't want to try and fit into somebody else's mold as a presenter, because you want to be naturally you. That's why your current clients like you. They like who you are. So when it comes to presenting, you still got to be you. However, there might be the odd rough edge here and there that we need to sort of file off, so to speak, and I give you advice and strategies on how to do that. And people really do love the way that I do that, because they're not made to feel bad, they're not feeling put down, they're not feeling like they have to be someone they're not, and all that's happening is they're sort of emerging, if you like, and becoming more and more confident within themselves and being who they really are and want to be. how to get leads from this particular type of presentation. There's a definite process for doing that. It's not pushy, it's not yucky, it's not salesy. I'm sure you've seen some people from the front of the room who've done lead gen or sales, and it's been an awful experience. I don't do that. I get leads all the time when I do this. So do the people that I teach, and there's no way we would get leads if it had been a yucky, pushy sales. But that starts with W, rhymes with ship's anchor. You don't want to be that at the front of the room, and that's not what I teach. And of course, marketing and getting booked. There's no point having a really great presentation to go and do to business groups if you can't get bookings. So I give you my system for that. I help you craft up all of the marketing. We work together to produce a marketing piece to help that. I go and get that professionally produced for you. I help you with the copywriting of the lead generation emails and so on and so forth. So you actually walk away ready to press the button and go. Yeah, and that's really important. So it's not a done for you, but it's actually a done with you. We work together. Just on sessions like this, on Zoom sessions. So I did this earlier this week with a person. We wrote their flyer from start to finish, from the opening word to the final word, went away, got that beautifully produced. Now that person's using that, along with the covering emails and so forth that we wrote together. They're using that to reach out to groups now and get bookings. Another lady, when it comes to the presentation, it was just yesterday, from the first word to the last word, we wrote her presentation, and she's excited out of her tree to start practicing that and getting out there and delivering to the right group to get the right leads to grow and expand her business and build a positive reputation for herself. That's incredibly important. Of course, then the online lead generation presentation. So once you've started and worked on the first one, there's some slight changes, but it's quite quick to get the online presentation done because you've already familiar with the presenting from the live situation. Presenting live first is good because you get a feel for what an audience is like. And when you have that experience that you can bring when you're just looking down the barrel of the camera like I am now, you can sort of picture what it's like if you're presenting to a live audience, and that helps you be more engaging when you're on camera. So that's why it goes in that order of things. So the presenting structure and the technology, there's not as much as what you think about in order to do this. I've probably got $200 worth of equipment around me, including the camera, and that's it. With the mic maybe a bit more, but it's not going to break the bank to be able to do that, and some of the tech you'll already have anyway, so we just make that easy peasy to do. Presentation coaching, so again I critique and I review and help you smooth out your own style and make sure that you're staying authentic to who you are. Your own online funnel, so when you're presenting online, if you're going to do something that's evergreen, and I suggest you have one of those, there needs to be an online funnel with some multiple steps to it and a few different videos. And so I actually give you the tech to do that. In fact, what I do with you is we prepare all of the content for that funnel, and then I put it together. But it's your own unique funnel with no one else in it, just you and your stuff. And you don't have to worry about faffing around with technology that you might not be your strength. I've been faffing around with technology on the internet for a long time now, and I know enough to be dangerous. So I take care of that for you when you work with me, so you don't have to stress and worry over that. And of course the marketing and copywriting to help you bring people to that presentation. Part of what we do also with that is get you onto things like what I'm doing today and other live opportunities, the Facebook Lives and this, that and the other, just to be able to promote and to bring people to that appointment generating presentation. And of course you can direct any of the existing traffic that's coming from your various social media sources or online or web traffic or what have you, so that people can also see that lead generation presentation, and that can just take your existing marketing to a new level as well. And of course then the virtual conversion presentation that was the body of today's talk. So the sales leadership process that you're going to use. Sometimes people say to me, I'll get really uncomfortable in the sales process. And it's really interesting that some people can be great on the promotion, but when it comes to actually working with the prospect, talking to them one-on-one and leading them through a process where they make a positive buying decision in your favor and you get the cash, sometimes that's difficult for people. So I understand a lot of the psychology around that, and why, because I went through that journey myself. So I want to be able to, and a lot of people, may not think of that because I was a great promoter. Always was a great promoter. However, I had to work and learn really hard, work hard to learn a different set of skills for the one-on-one conversion process, and I want to share that with you and teach that with you. And I'm fairly sensitive to where people are at with that, and we want to help them move forward and move through that so that you can make those sales and grow your business and put the profit in your pocket and have a great existence in small business. Securing paying clients, the advanced communication skills to make all of that work. And of course, if you need to, crafting winning proposals and the follow-up process. So some of you will be able to have a virtual conversion presentation and the decision gets made then and there on the spot. You agree on the price and you decide to move forward. Great, I'll get the invoice off to you. Let's get underway. We'll be in contact again at a particular day. That's the way I do it. We make the decision on the spot and we arrange that we're going to have our first meeting together, get the invoice underway, things get paid, and hey, we're off to the races. Some of you will need, though, if it's a complex technology solution, for example, then that would need to go into some form of a proposal. And what I help you do is to turn what often, I call them crappy old quotes. Don't be quoting your clients, for goodness sake. All that's doing is focusing the eye on the bottom right-hand corner of the page, which is a price. A quote does nothing to promote benefits and positive outcomes for the client. It's just all price focused, and it often causes sales to fall over. Yeah. So if you're in a situation where you need to do the presentation, but there'll be something needed to go in writing for the client to consider, or if the client's got to present something to their own board of management or what have you, you need to be able to do a proposal. So I help you craft that. The beautiful thing about crafting a winning proposal is much of it, believe it or not, stays the same between clients, and there's elements of it that you tailor for that specific client and can become quite fast to turn out those proposals, but they are unique and tailored to each individual client. Believe me, I've done this for years and I've taught it to many, many people. And of course, some of you will need certain follow-up steps after you do a virtual conversion presentation if it doesn't convert on the spot. So we'll talk through how that works in your specific particular business so that you can have higher conversion rates. And remember, if we can move from 20% up to 50, 60 and 70% conversion rate, you are going to have a great time in business. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so if you want to speak up, stand out and make a positive difference in your business, if you've got a growth mindset as a business owner, then comment below. If you're watching this on a Facebook or a YouTube or something like that, comment below, speak up, and I'll reach out to you and we'll make contact and we'll have a discussion. Or you can just simply copy that email address down there, james@jamesmcnamara.com.au, and shoot me over an email and we'll organise a time to have a good settled discussion about how I can help you to build your reputation, generate more fresh quality leads to your business and convert those leads into paying customers so you can build your business and have a great year in business. Okay, hope to be talking to you soon, and bye for now. See ya.